Horror fans have been quite satiated throughout the first half of 2025. There have been some really, really good ones, some really surprising ones that make us so goddamn happy that we decided to invest our blood, our sweat, and our tears through the mud, the muck, and the beers. We love horror movies. We love horror. They're number one. They're number one. They're number one. Unfortunately, I'm not here to talk about the positive aspects of horror, where there are so many in the sub and dom genres and every bit of minutia about the greatness of horror. I'm here to talk about the really, really bad shit. The stuff from the independent, low budget, my god, they scrape change out of the fucking couch cushions and then their friends' couch cushions, and it still wasn't enough to make the film even look halfway good, all the way up to big budget stuff, or at least medium budget stuff, or adequately budgeted stuff, where you wonder, how the fuck did they get these people involved? How the fuck was this film made? And why, oh why try? I'm John Rentham with the 10 worst horror movies of 2025 so far. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, please. And I also have some honorable mentions as well. I do want to say that all of these movies were covered in full on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist, as well as on Letterboxd. So, if I went just by star ratings that I put on Letterboxd, then really, like, some things would look vastly different, because I judge a lot of these movies. Yes, a lot of them are cheap. If I just went by the cheapness factor, this list could look entirely different. I picked them basically based on how little I enjoyed them, how much I hated them, whatever it was. And in all honesty, this is just the tip of the fucking iceberg, because I've reviewed, God, over 50 horror movies so far, and this is just 15 that I came up with. So, nevertheless, let's start off with the honorable mentions. The Baby in the Basket. Amber Doig Thorne, the very beautiful redhead that was in Winnie the Pooh. She played one of the main nuns, or pretty much the main nun in this. They find a baby in a basket, and it turns out the baby might actually be kind of evil. The decent idea, unfortunately, I think the budget was about $50. So, the Monastery, this film needed some fucking monostat. Was that mean? Probably. The Damned, the first movie that I saw this year, and I actually drove 35 miles to go see. And the fact that this is in the honorable mentions should probably be a pretty good indication about how this year is going to go. The Damned is about an isolated fishing village where, well, if you don't help the right people, or if you just decide to be too selfish, or maybe you just go insane, then you're going to be damned. You know, I don't really know what this movie is supposed to be, and I don't think they did either. I don't know what the point was. I know the point by the end was basically just to make me fall asleep. Or if that wasn't the intention, well, too bad, because I kind of fucking did. Which is really bad, because I had to drive 35 miles home. Don't worry, I'm okay. Don't sleep and drive, kids. So, The Monkey. Where was the comedy? I know where the violence was. Where was the comedy? Osgood Perkins may not actually be good for horror. Between this and Longlegs, I'm really starting to wonder about that guy. Yeah, I didn't really care for The Monkey. I didn't think that it was funny. The violence, it was what it was. I didn't think the performances were good. It's taking a short Stephen King story and trying to stretch it out. None of the laughs felt earned. None of the jump scares felt earned. It just was what it was. And what it wasn't very good. The Monkey looked creepy. Rosario, another movie that I traveled about 35 miles for because it was playing very, very early at another theater that I really like. A theater that is very nostalgic in the sense I don't think they've changed the seats since the fucking late 90s. Yes, it even has the oil popcorn feel coming out of the walls. Rosario has a lead actress who certainly tries, and is probably not cut out to be a lead actress. There's a lady in an apartment watching over her grandma's body, and shit goes south. The problem is that the movie really didn't deserve a theatrical release. The fact that it got one, great for them, but they should have gone straight to Shudder or streaming. I, quite frankly, don't know what the budget was, but it couldn't have been over $1 million, even with the halfway decent body horror effects. They should have gotten more money and put more effort into finding people that could actually act. Except that would have been trying to carry the fucking lame-ass script here. So, anyway, Presence. First-person ghost stuff. Man, this was stupid. Neon Studios hyped the fuck out of this, and Neon Studios has been kind of missing it a little bit. They missed it with The Monkey. They missed it with this. Paranormal Activity did it better, which is saying something because this should have been a slam dunk, but really had about 25 minutes of material, a super obvious twist, a super obvious ending, and really just ended up plodding along. Why was Lucy Liu in this? So let's get to the top 10. Fear Street Prom Queen. In all honesty, I almost wanted to rank this higher, but then I saw the rest of the movies and was like, no, I need to rank this that low. But the most disappointing Fear Street, Netflix original that they've done so far. Granted, this is only the fourth one, but even with 1666/1994, they ended up somehow butchering this really badly. The kills, I guess, were kind of okay, but it was very obvious where they were going with the whole movie. Chris Klein was in it for some reason. Ariana Greenblatt didn't really get to do much, and fans of her were very disappointed. But yeah, the movie just didn't really know what it wanted to be. It wasn't scary, and it wasn't even like young adult like horror. It was very bad. Very, very bad. Wolfman, number 9. Julia Garner deserves better after the Royal Hotel and some other stuff, including the upcoming Fantastic Four First Steps, which I'm looking forward to her as a Silver Surfer, her covered in just silver body paint. Who'd want to see that? I'd want to see that. But Julia Garner really tried her best here, but more of like the psychological torture and the Wolfman stuff taking a back seat. I mean, except for like a few parts where he was looking through the eyes of a changing wolf. Blumhouse does it again. And like, it's on Peacock if you want to check it out, if you really want to torture yourself. So then we get to number 8, Dark Match. Chris Jericho. I think Chris Jericho must have funded this movie because there's no excuse for how bad the production was, how bad the special effects were. An independent wrestling promotion gets a big offer of $50,000 to go to this isolated area that it turns out is run by a satanic cult. $50,000, by the way, for a paid show in Canada. I don't even think Stu Hart would have gotten that. And this was years after Stu Hart had dissolved Stampede Wrestling. I mean, maybe Eddie Quinn in Montreal would have gotten. So the whole point is that Chris Jericho can't act. He damn sure can't wrestle anymore. And this was really shitty. This was really... Shout out to the lead actress whose name escapes me right now. She at least tried. But I'm sorry. Like, the idea that Dark Match, it's supposed to be, like, satanic rules for these matches, and somehow isn't as ridiculous as the stuff you'll see in AEW. Yeah, there you are. Or the pandemic era of WWE. Number 7, Dead Male. I think it was supposed to be pseudo-found footage, and was about a guy who trapped some guy in his house, and was about a dead letter, and had absolutely no material to it. I don't know why people praise this. I did not find this interesting at all. That's all I have to say. Watch it if you want to. Number 6, Shadow of God. One of a few exorcism movies that have come out this year, or in the past couple of years, and not the worst. This is not the worst compared to another one, which is saying something given the star power in one I'm going to mention here in a little bit. Shadow of God was very cheap. It was very badly lit. It was very badly performed, and was very badly paced. I struggle to remember much about it, but it didn't even have a good opening. So right there, it shit the bed. Number 5, Today's the Day. Oh boy, Blumhouse brought The Woman in the Yard, where Daniel Deadweiler certainly tried. The kids were annoying. The story was obvious, and the story was obvious where it was going. I mean, maybe, granted, the twist at the end, was it a did they, don't, didn't they? I mean, The Woman in the Yard probably would have been better off if it had just been, a short, because they didn't have enough material to fill this damn thing. And yes, the grief-based horror subgenre can be well done, just The Woman in the Yard wasn't well done at all. I mean, and anybody who's dealt with dark thoughts might identify with this movie, but you will also identify with the fact that better movies have done it a lot better. That's repetitive. Number 4, The Ritual. I told you that there was a worse exorcism-based movie. This had Al Hoo-Ha Pacino as, I don't know what the fuck he was supposed to be. This, I watched this recently. I actually drove to a theater south just to watch it. And there was I think 3 other people in there. And I think they fell asleep. I think I was the only one awake 40 minutes in. And Yeah, I mean, badly, very badly filmed. Whoever was doing the camera work for this, you need to go back to fucking school or find something else to do. Or if it was the director telling them to film it that way, then the director needs to be fucking banned because this was really fucking bad and followed every goddamn, check mark, like just like a checklist deal, like it's a bingo card of goddamn horror. It's so fucking terrible. So then we go number 3, Popeye's Revenge. I mean, I guess I probably shouldn't put films like this so high. But when at least Winnie the Pooh or Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey 2 kind of tried, I mean, I'm not saying they were perfect. This had the typical storybook opening and then had Popeye eventually killing people, very stupid people. But the thing is it was so badly filmed, you would have thought this would have come out in 2005 on British television. All due respect to the Brits, but some of the cameras you guys have over there are a little bit weird. And this was also a UK production based on a lot of the actors in this. A couple pretty girls, but unfortunately the movie itself just doesn't end up going anywhere. And the overuse of fog and the one location shoot, I think this literally took place on a plot of land, like there was maybe a quarter acre, and they had to really tightly shoot it because they couldn't afford to do anything else. Yeah, Popeye's Revenge. I wanted to take revenge on everybody involved in this movie, at least from a production standpoint, not the cast. But it's not the worst one of a spin-off popular children IP character turned into cheap slasher horror. That's Piglet. Not connected in any way to the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movies. It's just Piglet raised by somebody that kills indiscriminately. There's a sex scene where some woman gets killed that I think actually got killed in the same way in Popeye's Revenge, now that I think about it. And Piglet basically is an ugly, boring, and sloppy goddamn just mess of a movie with about 15 to 20 minutes of material. And I think this thing was only maybe 80 minutes once the end credits started rolling. And it felt like it was at least 2 hours, if not more. Piglet is really, really bad. I mean, really fucking bad. But it's not as bad as number 1 with a bullet, The Rule of Jenny Penn. Everybody involved in producing this movie, they need to never be allowed to do anything again. I mean it. Ban them from fucking filmmaking. Because you have Jeffrey Rush, you have John Lithgow, and I understand what they were trying to do, talking about elderly people being forgotten and the staff not doing much as there's John Lithgow terrorizing people. But the thing is none of it is fucking earned. It is an ugly, boring, mean-spirited, in the worst possible way movie that doesn't shine a light on any of this stuff. It doesn't have any good horror elements. It ends with a goddamn whimper, which is fitting because the movie actually ends up after the opening just as a fucking whimper being slowly let out like a fucking fart that turns into a shart. That's what this movie is. That's what you are, The Rule of Jenny Penn. That's what you are, director, writer, whatever, The Rule of Jenny Penn. You are a living shart. And I'm sure they're nice. I don't care. Because The Rule of Jenny Penn was a movie that I actually paid to go watch in theaters. I paid to watch this. Now, granted, it was a little bit of money because I ended up having a pass, but I still used some of my own funds to watch this, and I felt like this movie should have paid me. Did Jeffrey Rush and John Lithgow owe, like, some debt to a fucking evil deity? Why? Why? Yeah, The Rule of Jenny Penn, my worst horror movie of the year. Is it my worst movie of the year? You'll have to check out those lists, because I'm not going to fucking tell you here, because otherwise I'll be utterly pointless. So, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Redland, and until we meet again, happy trails to you.